The song I would inherit is The Animals, Bring It On Home to Me. The thing I loved about The Animals is the fact that it was the first time I'd heard a sort of rhythm and blues, and it was this religiously, I knew it off by heart. You know how some people say you listen to a song until you solve the song, and I certainly solved that album. I mean, I really played it to death, but there was something raw about the sound. It just got into my bloodstream, like all classic and beautiful music does.
Bring it on home to me.
And it just reminds me of being safe and with my mum and dad.
You know I laughed when you left, but now I know I've only hurt myself. Oh, bring it to me.
I don't know if I can remember the first time I heard it, but it probably would have been my dad, either by cassette, playing it in his Ford Cortina on the mean streets of Hull. And it was when my mum and dad were still smoking, and they were puffing away at 20 to the dozen. And there were no seatbelts in the back of the car, and it was that glorious time of unpolitically correct 70s.
Bring it on home to me.
Funnily enough, I was thinking about this today and all of this last week, and I think I've just become a father again, and I realised how I phoned up my mum and just said, you know what, I realise how much you sacrificed as parents for us, you know, for me and my brother. I have an older brother, and I think being a parent yourself, you realise what I aspire to, and they, you know, I don't think I was a particularly good I think I was, you know, they were strict parents, but they were fair. There was great continuity in me and my brother's upbringing, and there was a lot of humour.
Oh, bring it to me. Bring your sweet love in. Bring it on home to me.
If I heard it now, where would it take me? I think it probably takes me directly back to a very happy and safe time in my life. And my mother is, she's South African, and we went on a trip to South Africa just as I think Nelson Mandela had been released, or it was before then, in fact. But it was our first formative trip. It was my first taste of such an important part of my mother's life. And I say this because someone always said it's a great time to travel because it's after nappies and before sex. And I think that's, you're still probably enthralled to your parents, or you listen to your parents before the, you know, adolescence hits, and you've got far more interesting and preoccupying ideas and aspirations. But yeah, funnily enough, I don't know why that pinged into my head, but probably that trip to South Africa was such an informative part of understanding my mum, and I suppose that, I don't know, it triggered that memory. So maybe that was round about the time that I heard it.
Bring it to me. Bring your sweet love in. Bring it on home to me.
The song I pass on is Damaged by Primal Scream.
Sweet some days when I was feeling so fine. Just you and me, girl, was a beautiful time. Ah, yeah.
It's interesting because I think it links into the rhythm and blues roots of The Animals, and this song just, I can't explain it without singing it, and I don't really want to sing it.
I was through it, died in pain.
My word.
All love.
Live music was hugely important when I first came to London, so I kind of hung out with the Blue Tones and people like that, and I was fortunate enough to meet Bobby Gillespie once. He won't remember. But I saw them live a lot. I know that my first live experience of the band would have been just as my career was taking off and This Life was coming out, and it does mark a point in my life where things changed.
Ah, yeah. Felt so happy.
When I met him briefly, it was so fleeting. It was after the Q Awards, and they all came back to my flat, actually, and I nearly got them not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. But it was a Tuesday, and the next morning I had one of the Prodigy walking out of my flat, and the next door neighbour was like, what is going on? But it was a brilliant night, and I just remember being introduced to all of these heroes, and I don't get starstruck that often, but with musicians, there's, particularly if you've just seen them play as well, I saw James Brown as well, and he came off stage, and I was just on the side of the stage at Hyde Park, and my wife came over and just shook his hand. How do you feel? He went, I feel good, like this, and I just thought, that's why I love music. I just love, When I met Bobby Gillespie, it was just the lovely point at which we just met and passed, and I didn't get an opportunity to say how much I'm indebted to him, I suppose, but maybe he'll be listening. Yeah. Two choices say that I'm probably a lover, not a fighter, but I'm willing to fight for love. Come on, how cheesy is that? No, don't put that in. You better not put that out.